What's going on, YouTube? Today we are talking Mortal Kombat.
Behold, Master.
All right, so today we are looking at some Mortal Kombat stuff. The new trailer for Mortal Kombat 2 just recently dropped. It looks phenomenal and heavily influenced in the video game Mortal Kombat 2 and Mortal Kombat 3, which I like. A little bit of Mortal Kombat 11 in there as well. Not the biggest fan of Mortal Kombat 11. My interest sort of died with Mortal Kombat 9, but I've kept an eye on the franchise and whatnot. I was very tempted to pick up the more current Mortal Kombat games when they dropped like Jean-Claude Van Damme's Kumite skin and they dropped the 1995 costumes, which is what we're looking at today. So this is a Darbs design, I think it's Darbs Designs, fan-made mask. And this is for my cosplay. I have a Scorpion cosplay 95, and I really love how this looks. My big thing is that the straps attach right in the corners there. On the balaclava, it overlaps the balaclava by like an inch and a half. So you actually have to move those up about an inch and a half so that this can overlap. Makes it a little tighter on the face. I sculpted my own hand spear birdie thing. It's a lot of fun, and I really like this, but I always wondered, how accurate was this? And I actually have the opportunity to figure that out with you guys. So, how? Because that is a 1-to-1 lineage restoration piece of the stunt mask used by Chris Casamassa. So, for those of you who do not know, the 1995 Mortal Kombat films starred a lot of WMAC masters. That was a show back in the day, Saturday morning cartoons era, which was sort of like WWE. It was a staged martial arts stunt show that was set up like a competition, and they would earn points to go for like the world title, which they called the Dragon Star and things like that. And it starred a lot of people who ended up being in Mortal Kombat. So Ho Sung Pak was on it, and he played Superstar, and he was famously Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, the video games. It starred the guy who played Reptile, the guy who played Sub-Zero, Hakeem Austin, who fought Liu Kang in the 1995 movie with the staff. He was Hakeem the Machine. But the guy that stood out for me was the guy who played Red Dragon. His name is Chris Casamassa. And Chris Casamassa played Scorpion in the 1995 movie, which is just the greatest thing ever. So this fan mask is really, really cool, but I always wondered how accurate it was. These lineage pieces, one gentleman owned just about every piece of Mortal Kombat memorabilia you could. So anything that could be bought from the 1995 film, anything that could be bought from the video game filming, if it existed, he bought it. And he even had stuff from Annihilation. I think he had all of Ermac's costume or Rain's costume. It was crazy. So this guy had everything, and he lent his Scorpion masks. So he had a stunt mask, a hero mask, and I think one other one that was for Scorpion. And he lent this out to get it restored, molded, and replicated. And you can see there are some slight differences here, but we know for a fact that this is lineage. I actually spoke to the person who made it. So this is an actual 1-to-1 correct stunt mask. It wasn't painted. I painted it. Drabs painted that one. So let's take a look and just sort of compare these. So the first thing I want to look at is the 6 components on the side. So above the baseline, these little guys here, there's 6 little guys, right? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then there's 2 bottom components. You'll see that it's the same, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but then there's, the bottom is different. So there's this 7th one, and then this sort of tapers off into something different. That's not quite what this one does, which I could fix. I could just putty over that and use a open straw and make those dots or whatever if I wanted to mod this and make it more accurate, which I might. You'll also see that the texture is a little more subtle as opposed to Drabs, which has a lot more of a consistent texture, which I like. the little scrapies and things inside the stunt vary a little different from the hero, but same kind of texture and things like that. When you look at the divot in the nose so that it can go over the nose piece, that's very similar. They are of a similar height. So if we just, you can see Darb's signature in there, so you know it's his. So they are of a similar height. They are of a similar swoop. I noticed that the Casamassa mask is far more accentuated in its geometry. So the slant is extreme here. The slant here is extreme. These cuts are more swoops. A lot more swoops. This one's a little blockier, but I don't necessarily dislike that. So we pull it around this way as well. And you can kind of see Drab's is actually bigger. It makes for a bigger lower face, particularly as it comes down along the jawline. So that may look different on the face. So let's take a quick look. So if I put this on, a little better lighting. There we go. You also can't breathe with this one on. It's solid resin. You could cut vents into it, which I will. This one I'm not going to chop up. This is going to be a display piece because it's the lineage piece. You can see it's smaller on my face. Chris is a smaller guy than me. Most martial artists are. They tend not to be 6'2", over 230 pounds. So I have a fat face, big head. So those things don't fit on me so much, but the Drabs does. Now, I don't mind modding the Drabs to fit my face and fit my costume. This, I'm just going to make a bust and stick it on it and do a really nice display. Halloween's coming up. Spirit of Halloween's going to be opening soon. I'm going to pick up a Michael Myers face shell, put some eyeballs in it, do the eyebrows and everything, and do a nice display. And that'll be fun way to display that. And I'm perfectly fine using the Drabs for my costume because I really like that mask. You did a great job. So final things I want to look at. Let's flip it around. When looking at the bottom, for a fan-made mask, Drabs is a 10 out of 10, man. This guy crushed it. He did a great job, and I'm not entirely certain that these are not accurate to the hero. I got to go back and look at all my reference photos again. I've had these for a while, and I haven't done much with them. I did this when I had my costume. I did some pictures of me as Scorpion. But looking at... This is an image of me in the full costume with my sculpted handpiece. You can see that the mask fits very well, and it makes for a great-looking Scorpion. At the Lineage one, I really, really enjoy this. Now, the person who makes these, I will put their name in the description so that you can pick them up. And I'll put Drabs in there as well. So you can get this, and you can look to this guy and get what he's offering now. He's got the reptile. He's got a Lineage reptile coming out. But he's doing an aluminum run, a metal run. So they're going to be metal masks. And they display beautifully, but they're not cheap. I like the resin. You know me, I'm a resin guy. Metal and heavy, I understand. Transporting it is a pain in the ass, and you get really upset if you damage it because it's hard to repair. It's easy to repair resin. It's hard to repair metal. So, and make it look good. So, I will put links where you can get both of these. This comes as a fully painted mask. This is wearable, right from Jump Street. You may have to Dremel and do some stuff, but you can also heat it and bend it a little bit if you're worried. This, honestly, I was happy to get a hold of one. If I'm not mistaken, when I was speaking with the gentleman who made these, because I know only one guy ever got his hands on these and molded a Lineage one. He told me a story about a guy on eBay who hit him up and said he was doing a con with Chris Casamassa. He was rebuilding the costume for him for a photo op, but he needed the mask. So he built one and sent it out to the guy. From what we're known, Casamassa, I don't know if he got one or not, but the guy molded it, made an extra one, and then started cranking out duplicates. And I do believe this one is a copy of the copy. And that's one of the ways that I found the guy that I spoke to about it, because I said, dude, is this your mask? Because this has some slight modifications that he made that are uniquely his, so he'd know. And he was like, yep, that's definitely one of mine, but not one that I made. In particular, you can see this right here. This little piece right here, that's a molding error. He would not sell one with that molding error. So I know that that is recast from that. But I got the dimensions and everything sorted, and it was a good enough replication with minimal shrinkage where it's within 99% of the original. So I'm pretty okay having this one, especially since I spoke to the gentleman about it and was able to expose the recaster to him. But I am considering picking up one of his reptiles in resin, so we're talking about it. We'll see. I don't know. So these are my two Scorpion 95 masks. I really, really loved just how straightforward they were about Scorpion and Sub-Zero in 95. They changed so much of the look. And initially, you didn't know what to think of that. Like, am I okay with this? Am I not okay with this? They changed the way the spear works. They changed the masks. But 95, man, I don't know. It just grew on me over and over again, especially when you saw the abomination that was Annihilation. It was terrible. And I just thought I really loved 95. And then they did the show Conquest, which was sort of a continuation of this design team. That didn't really pan out. Then they did that really interesting show, Legacy, where they started to get Scorpion more and more away from that original ninja look. Sub-Zero, Scorpion, they stopped being like ninjas. And I started to just have this nostalgia for the old school ninja look. I missed the ninja look, and the game started to get away from it more and more. And it started to bum me out, and more I leaned back on, at least I got a live-action Scorpion that really looked like a ninja and fought like a ninja, and it was cool. Had a cool soundtrack. And when the opportunity came to pick these guys up, I did. And I will tell you, I'm really excited for the new Mortal Kombat, though I really wish they'd redesign Scorpion. I'm actually hoping that Cole becomes the new Scorpion and he gets something a little bit more classic looking. But we also have these new McFarlane figures coming out that I'm super pumped about because they're all based on Mortal Kombat 2, which I love. And I am super stoked because I could never afford the Storm Collectibles ones, nor would I ever buy them because I'm not paying $100-something for a stupid figure. And the Jazzwares I always thought left me wanting a little bit. I'm really happy McFarlane has the license and is pumping those classics out. I like those. So I'm pretty stoked. I may do a custom 95 Scorpion figure in the near future here in Marvel Legends scale because there's just more parts to work with. But in general, I encourage you to check the description, and if you like this, reach out to either of these two gentlemen and pick something up for yourself. Drabs, you can get stuff on Etsy from him usually, but you can hit him up on Instagram. I'll put that in the description. And this gentleman here, like I said, I mostly communicate with him on Instagram, but you can get on his list for stuff for what he does. He's in high demand, so I wish you luck. But thank you guys for checking this out. I hope you checked out the new Mortal Kombat 2 trailer. We're going to be talking a lot about Mortal Kombat leading up to that movie because I'm friggin' pumped for it. So I'm going to show you guys some more Mortal Kombat stuff I have later. But I just wanted to get this mask video out because I really realized I never shared with you guys that I actually own these things. And I got a bunch of stuff that I've really never talked about. So we're going to have some random one-off videos where I show you what I got and I'm not exactly making it. So if you can't build it, buy it. If you can't buy it, build it. Sometimes if you do both, you get something awesome.